Southern Africa's footballing eye remains firmly on Umlazi as, of course, the 2023 Hollywood Bets COSAFA Cup continues here at the Kings Willetini Stadium. And on this particular day, a big talking point as we see the few fans coming into the stadium is the weather. That's the reason for the few fans compared to what we had yesterday. It's an extremely cold day here. It's also a bit wet in Umlazi, which has kept some of the fans away, but will make things interesting from a playing point of view. William Chongwe joining me in commentary here, and of course, the big talking point, Comoros up against Zambia. The first game of the day, Comoros started off the tournament in the best way possible. They flexed their muscles against the Seychelles, Chongwe.
And they looked good at it. They controlled the game from one end to the other, from the beginning to the end of the match. Clearly, yes, they didn't score enough goals in as far as I'm concerned, but still, I mean, if you look at some of these goals that they scored, this one in particular.
Yusuf with a smashing strike. One of the goals of the tournament so far, and they were having it their own way against the Seychelles here, the Comoros in that first day. The important thing is they went on to score 3 goals, the only side to have scored that many goals in this year's tournament. This is how the third came about.
Still 3 goals, yes, like you said. They're the team that has got the most, but I think the way they control the game, they deserve a whole lot more than that.
Now, Zambia, well, they conceded and weren't able to respond against Malawi, but Malawi were deserving of the 1-0 win, even with the own goal.
Without a doubt, I mean, I don't think the Zambians expected this type of hyped Malawian side, and it was a great game nonetheless.
So, this is how the proof looks here, and it's interesting. Zambia under pressure, Seychelles under pressure. The same can be said for Comoros and Malawi. They will also know wins for them today could make for a very interesting day come the third round of matches.
Malawi in particular, obviously playing a little bit later, will have the privilege to play the Seychelles. But Comoros, this is one game that they can afford to lose, but just as much as the Zambian is this game. That's why it's so fierce, just about everywhere except the Seychelles.
Yep, the defending champions will need to come up with the result here in the first game. That kicks off at 3 o'clock, which is in the very near future. Later on in the day, Malawi will be hoping to make it 6 points when they face Seychelles, who will be hoping, of course, to be the stumbling block for Malawi. Now, William Chongwe had the pleasure of speaking to Moa Pesishoni as well as Abdul Aymane, the coaches of both Zambia and the Comoros.
Not the best opening game for the Zambians, but how have you prepared for this one?
Yeah, first of all, yeah, it was a disappointing result. We planned to start the tournament on a good note. Unfortunately, the result was not positive, but we took the negative result and we tried to do some analysis over the game, and we spoke with the players, and we also made some changes here for today's game.
You must have watched the game against the Comoros game when they played the Seychelles, and you must have picked up some advantages that maybe you can take advantage of.
Of course, we did see Comoros the way they played, and we had also to analyze their game, and we picked some areas where we saw that maybe it could be of our advantage for today's game, because I'm sure the boys they are taking this game so seriously. It's a do or die game for us here to keep going on this tournament.
Any changes in the starting lineup?
Yes, of course. Like I said earlier on, after analyzing the game and the training session that we had yesterday, we are giving some other guys, a chance also to prove a point that they are good players.
Coach, thank you very much and all the best.
Thank you.
Great game that you played in your opening game, Coach. But you're playing against the Zambians, who obviously lost, and they'll come here with high pressure. How have you prepared for them?
On sait que ça sera un gros match parce que déjà Zambie c'est une grande nation et il est le détenteur de ce tournoi l'année dernière. Donc déjà on sait que c'est une grosse affiche Toutefois, comme il a perdu son dernier match aussi, il va aussi mettre bien la pression, mais on s'est préparé pour et on est ici pour les affronter, peu importe l'adversaire.
Yes, it's true. Actually, we are aware that we are meeting a big team in the region and the champions, and also conscious of the fact that they lost their last game. So coming into this game, we've prepared very well to meet them, and we hope to meet our objective, which is winning.
Obviously, you got all 3 points, but what other areas do you think the team still need to improve?
Quels sont les points de faiblesse de votre équipe où vous comptez améliorer en entrant dans ce match?
Non, notre équipe il est bien organisée, bien disciplinée tactiquement. Donc, mais chaque match il a ses différentes conditions. Donc, ce qui en est du match précédent n'a rien à voir avec ce match. Donc, on a préparé ce match autrement, contrairement au match dernier.
We came in with a very solid and well-disciplined team for this tournament, and we are also cognizant of the fact that every game has its different circumstances and conditions. However, coming into this game, we've prepared accordingly.
Thanks very much, Coach, and all the best.
Thank you also.
Umlazi's Kings Walitini Stadium continues with the second round of matches at the HOLLYWOODBETS COSAFA Cup of 2023, and Group B has defending champions Zambia fighting for survival up against Comoros, who top the group. A very good day it is to you. The weather, a huge talking point here. It's cold, it's wet, and there is no sign of the sun at all compared to the weather we had yesterday. William Strongman sitting alongside me. The conditions here today, testing indeed.
Very testing, even to the players. Yes, it might take them a little bit of time before they could warm up to the pace that we expect them to be. Those beginning stages will be key to see who has warmed up better than the other.
So they will contribute to what's been a great showing from a fan point of view. Those weather conditions will contribute negatively, I mean to say, to the fans. Usually we've already got a good number of fans up in that far stand. It's not the case here today. With the rain also coming down, it's gone some way in keeping the masses, mostly those that have turned out, pinned to this main grandstand.
Further, is obviously the pitch is a little bit weird, and the control of the ball normally is a very difficult one. It will take the players a little bit of time before they can settle to that one as well. But potential mistakes, which for us neutral viewers and fans alike will appreciate just to see the goals. I mean, if the crowd is not here, at least let's get some goals, and we're hoping that the weather will contribute to that effect.
Well, for Zambia, there certainly will be in need of goals here. For Comoros, another win, well, will stand them in good stead for a place in the semi-finals. But first, they have to deal with the beast that stands before them. That, of course, is the defending champions, as these sides meet for the first time in the COSAFA Cup.
With a blessed please remain standing for the national anthem of Comoros.
This is just the sixth showing for the Comoros at the COSAFA Cup. Keep in mind the best showing ever was back in 2019 when they got as far as the quarterfinals. They, a couple of years later, went on to, of course, qualify for the Africa Cup of Nations. So there has been a gradual improvement over the years, and also started off this year's tournament in the best way possible to the men in green. That, of course, came with a 3-0 win over the Seychelles, the highest scoring side so far at the end of the first round of matches. Big question is, what can they do against the mighty Zambians? Now, looking at the Zambian starting 11 here, there'll be a few changes to the starting 11 with Wanganda coming into the attack. They'll also be allowing Sian Kombo out to the wide attacking areas in midfield, whilst in the heart of defense, Shabada will be coming in to shore things up defensively.
And Kabumbu in that middle of the park, one of the senior players in the Zambian side, will be looking to restore a little bit of order. And it's not that they played that badly, but it's up front where they fell short. The competitions weren't working, but coaches had a few more days to continue to work on those competitions. Hopefully today it will come through against the Comoros.
Well, those are the changes, of course, from a Zambian point of view that will hope to stand them in good stead against the men in your picture. They've already made a statement already. A few that have been watching this tournament right from the beginning have been impressed with what they've seen from the Comoros. A few changes coming into their starting lineup. They will, allow Halsani to come into the attacking midfield areas. Raidu's another that, of course, is worth keeping an eye on, having found the back of the net, whilst Yusuf, of course, scored that smashing strike in the second goal in the last match.
If you talk about controlling a game, that middle of the park for me was very impressive. Right, obviously, just behind Afane and Haslane and Faidin, both anchoring that middle, which means basically defensive and going forward. There's a good balance in that team.
Also, One Nation has the world of experience under their belt here, and as far as the COSAFA Cup, it is amongst the nations to have been involved in every COSAFA Cup since the inception of the tournament, that being Zambia, up against that one that's only enjoying their sixth showing at the COSAFA Cup, and showing the inexperience maybe and gradual growth still of this Comoros as a nation. And for, well, Comoros, their last match was a group stage encounter at the COSAFA Cup, and I'm talking last year against the Seychelles. They beat them 2-1. They started off this year's tournament by beating them 3-0. So here they are now, facing Zambia for the first time. And what is the Zambians to kick off, attacking the right of your picture? They, of course, in their familiar, what is it, orange and black, or copper and black?
Or gold and black. It's a mixture of all the three colors combined there. But copper, maybe, if you think about the copper bullets, maybe it's what they were trying to That's the color they were trying to work on.
Seychelles in the green and white here. Really stoppage here. Clash of heads, as you suspect it was. And they are taking care, of course. You had the pleasure a few days ago, William Shaw, when you've time and time again come up with some lovely interviews during the halftime break during games. For those of you that haven't had a chance to catch them as yet, stay with us today at halftime of both encounters to see what little pleasures William Shogo will come up with in the conversations he is able to found. You spoke to Dr. Munya a couple of days ago, spoke of the concerns from a football point of view with concussions. Something that's going forward and that's being developed, and that maybe we're behind other sports such as rugby in the way we deal with them worldwide, not just in the continent.
Yes, I'm with you exactly. I was just looking at Yusuf here, one of the best players in that team. I'm just trying to imagine.
Well, there's a chance here for the Comoros, and great movement, and it's a super chance then, and they were able to open up the Zambian defense quite impressively for the very first shot in anger in this match.
And as well as this, it's a good shot, it's a decent shot, lots of power behind it. Mlenga, one of the upcoming young stars in that Zambian sticks, and has done very well. It's making his entry in a very big game against the Cote d'Ivoire, and obviously he was unbelievable. And as far as performance is concerned, Davis Peary, his goalkeeper coach, is just over the moon with what this youngster can still achieve.
Well, a positive here for Comoros, in that, well, many would have wanted coming into this game against Zambia that, yeah, they look good, they look great. In fact, against the Seychelles in starting off their tournament, but what would they do against a nation that would fight back to a large degree and has the balance and quality of Zambia? The fact that the Comoros were able to create that first chance will be a bit of a confidence booster for them, that they can still, if they play at their best, create and possibly score against the Zambians. Yeah.
You're raising a very important concern. I guess the Seychelles didn't have a lot to offer in that game, so which made it real easy affair for Comoros, and this affair that we're having right in front of us might be slightly different. I'm thinking of the style that the Zambian will approach. They'll play a little bit higher. Will the Comoros have the time on the ball to build up from the back and the time to place their passes into the empty spaces behind the defensive line? I'm not sure, but we obviously will see the developments.
Well, set piece here, Zambia pushing forward. Foul committed by Hansani, one of the three changes that's coming to the starting lineup for the Comoros. Late with his challenge on Ngwanda. Driving forward then was Ngwanda. Alberts, the Red Arrows man, played 20 minutes of the opening game that lost to Malawi, starting here today. Now, from the training grounds, well, they were wise to what was going on around them. Good communication. It had to be said as well by Velojara Salimo, the man between the sticks for Comoros. And he plays club football for Volcan in the Comoros. In fact, there are a good number of players that play for Volcan in this starting lineup. We'll touch on them as the game does move on. I'll tell you what, we have nowhere near the numbers we've grown used to here at the Kings Olitini Stadium. If you are just joining us, the weather playing a huge part in that. It's cold, it's windy, it's wet. It's feeling like a perfect winter's day in Durban, if there is such a thing. Extremely cold. Now, good movement on this near side, the flag up. I mentioned the flag because there is a small group that is very vocal and looking to ensure their presence is felt here in these early stages. Oh, good hard running on that far side and unintentionally clipping the heels of the defender. Shimba was the man fouled. Operating in the left back position is the man in your picture. Running hard against Yusuf. Now, it's the Zambians here to build from the back, then the early ball forward, finds an attacker and looking to immediately pull the trigger. Running into traffic at the top of that box. Zambians again doing a lovely job of keeping the pressure on here. Good skill, but Mina able to stand firm. Now, Yusuf spotting the space on that far side. Lovely vision. Support needed and quick to arrive. Zambia also quick to get numbers back into defensive areas, so no worries for them.
Now, I'm sure you already picked up that there's a slight difference in the way that they played against the Seychelles. I'm talking the Comoros now. Instead of build-ups that may be overly done defensively, but they seem to look for the forward toss at every given opportunity to see that if they can bypass that packed midfield of Zambia. So something different in that they're playing a bit more forward. They might be isolated up front, but they've got the speed, and that's what the Zambians need to be wary of.
Yusuf, here on this near side, keeping it moving. Here he is on the ball again.
So arrogant on the ball.
Of course.
Player that would have played for Sporting in the first division of South Africa before they got Sporting, that is, before they got relegated. Playing his game in Namibia at the moment.
Ibrahim Yusuf, of course, did prove himself to be quite a skillful player when at his best and feeling confident, especially in the game against Seychelles. He had moments of flash that were quite memorable. Now, space in midfield here as the Zambians quickly look to move on to the front foot. That's interesting from a Comoros point of view. The keeper had the ball then, didn't just want to kick it away, wanted to kick it with intent towards the teammate. Yes, they've eventually gone on to lose it, but did find the teammate, which shows their ability to be able to play it out from the back. Now that's a lovely ball out to that far side. Numbers now working their way into the box. Floated in there, keeper's called and comfortably gotten a hold of it. Nice to see in the last two occasions that both goalkeepers have been involved. They have both, with intent, looked to play it out of the box, but straight to a teammate to start the next play going forward. They're not just kicking it upfield, they're kicking it to the open man in midfield to get it going.
Which takes a lot of efficiency in the distribution ability of the goalkeepers. It's very important to have a goalkeeper that can play that well with his feet. Which is, this is more than football. You want a goalkeeper that will help you in case you're under pressure, in case the opposition doesn't give you time to build. You want to use the goalkeeper to recycle the ball a little bit defensively. He's got a good bit of bite take. Bought him.
So most tackles won in the COSAFA Cup. Of course, we'll see the likes of Zimbabwe standing high with the Zambians. Of course, Zimbabwe currently under a FIFA ban, so Zambia right up there with Zimbabwe on 6 apiece. Zambia having won this tournament in 97, 98, the inaugural 2. 2006, 2013, 2019, and of course 2022. Lovely ball to the far side, the ball in then. Comoros still with a chance to maybe make something happen that they had. A better first touch on the edge of that box.
Well, the pitch conditions obviously doesn't quite allow that. That's why the players, before they receive the ball, they've got to take that extra caution in making sure that they deal with the bounce of the ball, they deal with the skidding ball, and the speed of the ball in which it comes to them will be maybe a little bit faster than normal.
Movement on the far side, then as the Zambians again look to probe, they are yet to create a clear-cut goal-scoring opportunity. The Zambians, if you are just joining us, also in the very opening exchanges of this match, we saw Comoros ask their questions of Mulenga, who came up with a good save. Yet another interesting ball. Yeah, Yusuf now just beaten for pace, but they've looked for those diagonal balls on a few occasions, and what, 2 or 3 times now they've been able to pull them off.
Going to the wide right first, and now I think it's the first one that went to the left. So at least there's a variation in their build-up. And that for me was the transition I was talking about. Every now and then, instead of doing a bit more of the build-up, they look to get the pass to find those wide players running.
Comoros still knocking on the door.
His friends, I'm talking Yusuf now, the number 7. They don't call him Yusuf, they call him Juja. It's a nickname. Every now and then you will hear shouting, Juja, Juja. And that's the name he gave me when I met him the first time in the hotel. And then later when I'm like, where is Juja? Only to find that his real name is Yusuf.
So Juja is a nickname,
It's a nickname, yes.
Now, every Zambian player in the opposition half of the field haven't quite gotten it right in and around the final third just yet. The ball in is well defended. They've still tall defensively, but the Comoros, it need to be said, haven't had much to worry about in that regard. Here is Juja, aka Yusuf, cutting in field in. Throwing the ball towards that far side. It's that diagonal ball they've time and time trying to pull off. Now twice it's worked for them.
A little bit short this time. Maybe a little bit higher would have done the trick because I was a defender. Each and every time you want to play a long ball of that nature, it must be high because in between there's going to be a lot of traffic.
So as mentioned earlier, Zambia and Zimbabwe, the most successful nations, with South Africa a close third, if you will, with 5 championship wins. Could see a card here for the first time here this afternoon. It's a strong talking to from the referee from Madagascar, Mr. Rakoto Joanna, assisted of course by Officer Tole of South Africa, as well as Kasilami Mulefe Botswana.
So compact in the middle is Comoros. Look at Afani who had dropped that far to make that tackle. But that's how they're playing at the moment. It's very compact. Only when they get the ball do you see them opening up and running forward. The ref is still having a chat with him.
Turning to a lecture. So, set piece here for the Zambians. Well played in and well, better header. They have presented a better opportunity for them. In the end, it's a half chance, I think. It's safe to say. Comfortable for Salimo to snatch out the air. And if they are looking for a bit of encouragement, it's only the fact that they were able to find a teammate with the ball played into that box. Maybe for future set pieces, they'll be hoping for more of the same. But better precision with the header or headers.
Yesterday, of course, game between Botswana and Bafana Bafana. A player was committed a foul in the box. he got red carded, like immediately. So people were concerned about the effect that how come a double punishment, that is normally you get the type of penalty calls whereby the penalty is given and yet the player remains in the field. With a bit of time we'll explain. I did try, but I feel like I didn't.
Possible chance, yeah, and now good save on the near post then with Salimo. Well positioned. I think it's safe to say that was the beginning and ending of the save, as he wouldn't have had much time to react to the shot.
But you did well. It's not all the time that you've got to use your hands. Sometimes just your body being positioned, being well positioned is enough to give you that little bit of a chance to make a save.
Yeah, it's a good save from it, sneaking in under him. He's just gotten his hand there in time to concede the corner. Best chance for the Zambians. We've seen one good chance apiece now between the Zambians and Comoros here inside the opening 17 minutes.
And yet I would say this one was a little bit more open because the goalkeeper had to deal with a few players in front of him and yet reacted that well. Remember, the conditions ain't favorable either. The ball is a bit slippery.
That's it. We started the competition on a cold day, then it went and got warmer as the days went along. It was extremely hot yesterday. It's cold and wet today here in Durban. Shongwe, the pitch has done a stunning job of keeping up, of course, with the quality and the plentiful football we've seen here at this venue. The groundsmen, we have to take our hats off to them, have done an absolutely stunning job. At no point has the pitch been a talking point in a negative manner. In fact, it hasn't come up at all until this very point that we're making now, just to praise them.
This is the ninth game in the space of what, 5 days, and you got to understand the hit that this field has been taking, and yet, like you said, it's still pretty much in good shape. And there will be changes, of course, in the upcoming games, whereby games will be happening at the same time. I'm talking about the last games of the group, so other venues will have the opportunity to take a little bit of the pressure of this one.
Yep, we'll also be moving along to the Princess Makoko Stadium, which will give this venue a bit of a break, although won't be too much of a break. The action will still return to this lovely venue, which really has hosted us beautifully in the opening 5 days. Zambians also amongst the record holders in the most titles won in a row, winning it in 97 and 98, as we all know. South Africa winning it in 2007 and 2008, Zimbabwe in 2017 and 2018. So each of those three nations have won back-to-back titles. No country yet to win it 3 in a row.
I think it will be difficult to have a situation like that. I mean, if you look at the Zambian team that is here today, it's the second team as far as the national team is concerned. So it's not the best of the Zambians. So that sometimes happens because the coach is looking to build a bigger pool of players for him to look into. So that takes away the quality whereby he's not able to put a team that has been together, that has improved in the combination. So that's one of the things that takes that strength of some of the countries, that they can't win it ongoing.
Well, of the 3 countries who have won it back-to-back, it's no surprise to see Zambia, Zimbabwe and South Africa there, knowing that Zambia and Zimbabwe both have 6 titles and South Africa has 5. So the 3 best, so to speak, have had the 3 best performances in back-to-back titles as well. Zambia pushing forward, hoping to find the opening for the shots. Oh, it's a good shot. In the end, good foot movement here from Salimo and a good save in securing the ball at the first time of asking.
Great point made at the first time of asking, alongside the conditions of this field. So when a goalkeeper is able to hold it the first time in that fashion, you must know that is a good save. Yes, and it wasn't too far away from him, but power with which it was hit, you still got to give him the credit.
Well, Zambia are slowly creating moments here.
Victor.
And one would miss because maybe the saves are there being made and they're looking comfortable, but if you are paying attention, they're creating moments that are pulling away from the number of moments the Comoros have been creating since the start of the game. So slightly the momentum could be falling in their favor. Good ball. Followed up by a good touch.
They're knocking.
Yeah. But they come. Running on the far side for the 1-2 now. Men getting in the box here. Ball played in towards the far post. And again, man who's been very busy of late, but in a very positive light for the Comoros. Salimo comes good with the defensive end of the play. But he is busy.
Under a bit of pressure. He was looking to punch, and I don't think that's his stronger hand. So he just barely gets to it. And it's not even a punch, it's a pile. And that's why it drops that close to him. But imagine then there were Zambian players in that kind of area. He didn't even have to move an inch. Great goalkeeper still, regardless. I mean, by taking the ball and go down, it means that the power behind the ball is enough. You're using your body weight to bring the ball down. If you're standing, you might stumble and eventually lose control. So that is excellent goalkeeping. Now, if you were to break it down as far as the nitty-gritty, what it takes to make a good save in that fashion.
Simplicity is key. Doing the simplicity is key. Doing the simple things well.
Yeah. But unfortunately, not all the goalkeepers get the development to know the right things to do. Initially, we were told just make sure the ball doesn't go past. How you do it, it's immaterial.
Now, Zambia again, on top of the little moments they're creating, also holding onto the ball a whole lot better. Another shot coming in and another save from Salimo. This time at full stretch, and did well to parry it wide in denying Panganda, who's already tested him on a couple of occasions.
Listen, what makes this one even better, because look at the 10. He doesn't even indicate that he's going to take it. As a 10, he snaps it. And the goalkeeper obviously still flat-footed, but he manages to get into the right position and flicks that ball out for a corner.
Second corner coming up for the Zambians. It was the near post. Keeper thought about coming, then changed his mind. Fortunately, it got to one of his teammates who was able to get rid of the danger.
Misjudged the flight of the ball. It was way too far for him to come out. And it was dropping low. Those are the dangerous ones, because if it's that low, it means somebody can just fly in front of you and nick it before it gets to you.
Of course, the teachings for men of your ilk, of your kind, and goalkeepers and goalkeeper coaches is to catch it at its highest point as the keeper, right?
Indeed. So if it's not that high, then you have no business going up. Somebody can intercept it before it gets to you.
In midfield, yeah, Comoros give themselves a set piece, a chance to send some numbers into the opposition half of the field. Finally, the man fouled. Well, this is an interesting one, Chongwe. Wait. It's lined up here. It looks as though Asane may be thinking about a shot from the other side of town, really. He is thinking about the shot. It's not a bad one in the end. And, well, Mulenga got his body behind it quite nicely, which is important in getting his basics right.
And the fact that it's dropping in front of him, that's why having the body behind, even worse in this condition, because when the ball bounces off a wet pitch, it doesn't bounce high. normally skeet. So key that at least you can place your body behind, even if it doesn't get to your hand, you got the body as cover.
Of course, when fielding in cricket as a youngster, as soon as we praise him, Mulenga, the commentator's curse kicks in and his distribution goes haywire.
Well, we're praising for his angling. There are questions. Okay, Davis Piri. I spoke about Davis Piri.
Yeah.
These are the things that he's watching. Actually, you'll be surprised that Davis Piri is a full-time coach in his own right, not just a goalkeeper coach. He's got a CAF A license. He's got a German A license. Spent a year in Germany. Obviously, the association sent him to learn. He's been to America, where he also studied. I mean, he offers so much more than just a goalkeeper's coaching.
Now the header again will get another comfortable save out of Salimo, and he continues to be the much busier of the two keepers here. They continue to keep them busy. Now, Yusuf here on this near side. We have a run of that Zambian defense. See how isolated the front three players are from the rest of the team here. It's been that tough for them over the last 10-15 minutes to get the ball forward in and around that final third. They'll be happy with the fact that they've got themselves a corner.
The number 11, his name is also Yusuf, but Yusuf Mohammed. And the number 7 is Ibrahim Yusuf. So people shouldn't be confused. As we look into the bench of the Zambian side here, I'm trying to look at Davis Piri, who is supposed to be the man I was referring to earlier, but those are the players that are playing at the moment. Maybe it's a little bit more on this near side.
As you can see then, quite importantly, the rain continuing to come down here as the Comoros have the corner. Men push forward. Now, Yusuf popping up on that far side.
There's our man, Chicha.
Of course, for the Comoros, they will be very aware of the task that lies before them here this afternoon. 28 minutes with the scoreline still at 0-0 is a positive for them. Also, their keeper, the much busier of the two keepers. It's just the activity that's been around them will be a sign of the Zambian, I think, dominance, is safe to say. Seeing less and less of Lawrence Mulenga between the sticks for the Zambians. Foul called in against Kandawire. Operating in the right back position. Ooh, raises his knees quite dangerously then. Kandawire, the Azeska United man, didn't play in the first game. Amongst the changes that were made coming into this match, Samson?
Haslan is a player that collided with Mkandawire. Initially, he got up to try and get on with the game, but seemingly he felt the pain and had to go down to be treated.
Well, when you look at the tournament numbers, stats, Zambia is a name that consistently comes up. We looked at the most wins, Zambia there alongside Zimbabwe. We looked at nations that have won titles in a row. Zambia, again, there alongside Zimbabwe and South Africa. Have also been runners-up on 6 occasions. In 2004, 5, 7, 2009, 2017, and 2018. So even when they aren't necessarily lifting gold, they're thereabouts in being amongst those that are the last men standing in the tournament, so to speak, William Shongwe.
You can't help but think about the good old days of the Zambian side when they were still called the KK11.
Yeah.
When the president, when it was named after the with the president's name, that is Kenneth Kaunda, 11. He loved football so much, the president, that football in Zambia was professional, even at that time. Remember, it was the mining companies that were state-owned that had teams built around them, and the players were employed full-time for their football, and which gave them the chance, of course, to develop. I mean, one of the mines, the mines that I was able to travel into was to go into Mafulura. You know, that's the copper belt.
Yeah.
So those teams were unbelievable. In as far as they were powerhouses. The Fulera one just is one, and the names will start rolling out just a second from now. But what I'm saying is the football then was so much stronger in Zambia because of already the professional tag around it.
Well, with this Zambia, the two have the set piece, yeah? Kambamba standing over it. Looking for a teammate. It's on the back ball and needed to be dealt with defensively.
A little bit higher, maybe.
One of those that's difficult to defend for a defender who's running in towards his own goalkeeper. Also needed to keep an eye on the ball coming almost over his shoulder to deal with it. Horrible to defend.
Favorable for the defender was facing the ball coming.
Yeah.
But then, if it happens to be a little bit over, then it's a problem because now suddenly striker gains better momentum because he's already facing goal.
Yeah.
The days of Changa Ranges. Oh, Vita form.
We're looking at the most runners-up, of course.
Power
most recently.
Dynamos.
Taking William showing on a trip down memory lane in as far as some of the great Zambian sides of the past.
There's still an argument that still goes on even today. Who was the best of the best of the Zambia? Some are saying Kalusha. Some are saying Godfrey Chitalo, the late. Unbelievable. But I had the privilege to see Godfrey Chitalo against the national team of the Swatini. I was just a young boy then.
So it's safe to say then that you had the privilege to see both of them in action.
At least I played alongside Kalusha.
Yeah.
I have a say in as far as what I think about him.
That's what I'm trying. That's what I'm going to with this point now. Would you dare try and put those two up against each other?
This is that's what I'm saying. That argument still goes on even today. Obviously, a lot of people didn't get to see him. I'm talking about Godfrey now.
Now, wait, Zambia's now pushing forward and knocking on the door. Even I, in my teenage days, had the privilege of watching Kalusha in action.
And obviously, because you saw him, you think, wow.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, there's no footage. Godfrey, I hear there was a season where he scored over 80 goals a season. So now you tell me. I don't know the real number, but I know it's over 80. One season. So unfortunately, there's no net where you guys, with your technology and you can streamline and do whatever. Sorry about that. So the point I'm trying to make is these players, they know the demands that comes with being a Zambian player.
Yeah.
And at national level for that matter. You have to be very special.
What's nice about it is it's not only for the senior team players, it trickles all the way through to the junior players in the Zambian squads and also to the ladies side as well. There's an expectation that's growing there, especially with the current group, and they play some lovely football there. William Shong, I was able to watch them quite a bit last year, and they're off to the World Cup, of course, as well, the Zambian ladies. So they are growing that tradition in the ladies side, growing it amongst their juniors for the nation of Zambia to excel when it comes to the international stage, no matter the age group or the sex, if you will. Now, that was a good ball. It was a lovely ball. It was a beauty of a ball. Lovely vision, lovely movement off the ball then. And lucky from Kwandawire to be unable to take that in his stride.
And I think it was onside because he made the run from very deep.
Yeah. Patiently, just working the openings of the Zambians in this match, knocking on that door.
Well, I can't stop talking about the Zambians. They used to be all I had the privilege to play against that Mfulira Wanderers team, which had 7 players in the national team, including the late effort Chabala in goals. Ashius Mele, Charles Musonde, obviously Kalusha, Philmon Mulala. Those are the few names that I can still remember. Still fresh in my mind.
These were your younger days out in Eswatini
Yes.
with the national team, I guess.
With the end club.
And club.
Yes.
And
Champions League.
they remind us of the school lines.
Ah. Let's not go there. Only recently did we start to make some wins for his result. But in the past, it was always a given.
I guess it is why, for many of us, it was long overdue when Zambia eventually went on to be crowned African champions. Something that the many of us in Southern Africa felt should have been the case long ago with what Zambia has been able to push up into the international stage, the quality of football and footballers they've given us over the years for a long time. South Africa, of course, another from Southern Africa to have been crowned African champions. And there is a man down injured here and in need of some attention. Tell you another nation from a Southern African point of view that maybe should be up there with the best. They produce great footballers, and right now, yes, they do have the FIFA ban, but Zimbabwe is another nation where I personally have felt over the years should be doing much better on the international stage than they have done. They are blessed with some talented players.
Now, just looking at how this clash happened.
Was the ball in the face or an elbow to the face? Hard to tell.
It's hard to tell, but I think it was a ball a little bit to the side of the head.
So, Southern Africa with some nations like Zambia, Zimbabwe, South Africa that will want to be there, thereabouts in the talks for those that are moving us forward. And, well, they do have a few fans out there, the Comoros. It's always nice to see the different nations that are, of course, represented in the stands by the fans, whether those traveling or those that are already living within South Africa. So a few from Eswatini yesterday that believed and rolled their side forward. Comoros with a few here that'll be happy with the scoreline as things stand. Keep in mind, even a draw won't hurt the Comoros cause going forward. Zambia need the win. There's no two ways about it. The defending champions will find a running out of time here in this first half, whilst Comoros, whilst they aren't creating a lot of discomfort going forward, they will be happy at the fact that they are frustrating the Zambians, looking for the perfect counter-attack.
As we said at the beginning of the game, that it's not going to be the same as they had it against the Seychelles. I'm talking the Comoros now. They're in there. Obviously, the chances that they're creating far and few in between, or few and far in between, meaning that there's resistance. In fact, they've been on the receiving end. The stats will tell you that the Zambians has had more shots on target, for that matter, and I'm sure the goal position will also speak in that very same line.
Tell you what's coming, a pleasant surprise, Sean, as the game continues here with Comoros having 10 men on the field. But when we're looking at the most runners up, another clash of heads, yeah. Although it looks as though the lower back could be a problem for Narcis. Always no time in getting some help out onto the
Yeah,
field.
it's a clash
yeah.
of heads. I mean, I'm sure the medical team as well should know that once that happens, you don't need to wait. Immediately you can start running in. You can be fined later for invading the pitch without the allowance. But this is caution, throwing caution.
Again, it doesn't look as though the attention is on the head rather than the lower back on both these players now. So maybe not as serious as you and I initially thought. Sean, where the lower back seems to have been the area of concern for both players that went down. Yellow card awaiting Simba. So, while Zambia has had the moments here in this first half, is the Comoros with the set piece. And we've seen it time and time again since this tournament has gotten underway, where one side may have the momentum, and then against the run of play, a goal is scored. That's exactly what the Comoros will be hoping for here in the moments leading up to the halftime break.
It happened yesterday, Bafana were pretty much on top of the game and looking like they could score a goal anytime. And then the reaction.
Even when Bafana played against Namibia in the opener, it was exactly the same. Just before halftime as well in that match. Again, body behind it.
Other goalkeepers who are not properly trained, they will have dived. And which is a weakness in the goalkeeper. Footwork has got to be better. Just shuffle across, line yourself with it. If that is, if you can shuffle so. But others, because they're so lazy and they're not taught well how to speed up their shuffle, they just dive. And that's why sometimes when you dive, you've already lost your posture, your handling becomes a bit challenged. Or if what if the ball takes a bubble and you are down already having dived.
Yeah. Now, to this near side, it's folk getting in the box and catching there from a Zambian point of view that won't cause any problems.
What happens there? 3 players attack the same ball. And if there's 1 or 2 in the box, then 1 should stay outside in anticipation of the ball, of the second ball. And that they missed that opportunity because they all went for that ball.
No, Namibia they consistently come up with a bit of a surprise as far as the stats are concerned here in this tournament. In that Zambia, yes, they've been in a situation where the most runners-up, 6 we mentioned earlier. Following them, Zimbabwe with 3 in 98, 2001 and 2013. And Namibia, a third, with 3 themselves in 97, 99 and 2022. Of course, 2022 being last year, they were runners-up to this very same Zambian nation who were crowned champions, again in the men's and in the women's section. Last year was a great year in ruling Southern African football for the Zambians. Zambia have also been to the semi-finals on 15 occasions. More than any other nation. Second behind them is Zimbabwe on 12. Nicely one back in the middle of the park here for the Zambians as they can try and find a way forward. No way going just yet. With hustle, it looked initially to try and keep it alive until the whistle went to the gate. The intentions of Bamba. Where Libamba, who plays for Forest Rangers Zambia seem to have committed the foul here. Maybe a little late on that occasion. They feel a little hard done by. Looking back at those two challenges, if you will. Again, 2 minutes added on to the end of the first 45 here. Zambia will defend the corner coming from the Comoros. So Comoros with a chance to once again see if they can take the lead into the halftime break here, very much against the run of play. They've done a good job of frustrating the Zambians up to this point. Back throw it will be right next to the corner flag. Well, yellow card here, and a few players are going to have to calm down here as the tempers are threatening to boil over. Wondering if there was an elbow. The referee was very quick to advance in on the situation, deploying the whistle and show a card then. And we will confirm that card for you. So let's have a look here. Yep. Going up then is Bakri. So Bakri was the man that picked up the yellow card here. The first half comes to an end, and for Comoros who started off the game top of the group, they'll be happy. Having gone past the first 45 with no goals being scored here. For the Zambians, well, they need to make things happen. Must come up with a win here today, having lost in their opener. They will know they've got plenty to do come the second half. At the end of the first half, is Zambia no, Comoros no. Looking forward to the second 45. well, it's a game that Zambia simply need to win here, whilst the Comoros will be happy with the way things are faring. No, the scoreline at half-time in this Group B encounter. Let's go back and look at the highlights. There won't be too many of them in what is a cold, or on what is a cold day here in
so we'll start it.
The Zambians had the most of the moments as we saw this chance and the save on the near post then to Tunai Kangwanda, and a good save from Salimo, the much busier of the two keepers in that first half. All about good positioning here for Salimo, and from that good position he's able to come up with the save. The Zambians were quite done. Continue to push forwards and to, well, keep Salimo on his toes then, as he played a huge role in the reason why the scoreline ended up 0-0 in that first half. But it was all Zambia for the most part here on the front foot. Yet another shot and a more comfortable save, but getting his body behind it quite nicely then is Salimo. Again, the battle between him and Gwanganda very much alive and kicking. Nice turn here and a much better save this time from Salimo at full tilts. Able to concede the corner, and well, for the third time he's able to get the better of Ganganda. And well, one has to take a head off to Salimo in that first half performance for being the man that's responsible for this 0-0 scoreline. The numbers very much in favor of the Zambians, although the ball possession stats will be at 50% apiece. It's, well, the Zambians that look to push on from the positive numbers here. Now, William Shongwe waiting with another of those halftime interviews we've so gotten to love.
Mr. Timothy Shongwe, COSAFA Executive Member and Chairman of Competitions, who hails from the Kingdom of Eswatini. Mnagetu, it's a pleasure to have you with us. Tell me your feelings so far about the competition. How has it been for you?
Thank you very much. I'm absolutely happy with the competition, the preparations to start with, and then the kickoff as well. And we are seeing a lot of competitions between the groups, the teams, and we're looking forward to a better final next time.
Now tell me, going forward, the COSAFA competition has been going on for the longest, 26 years, but this is the 22nd edition. Now, what other improvements do you hope to bring about going forward? Because I think it has done well so far, but I'm sure there's more that can happen.
There's a lot. COSAFA is growing, not only in the Senior Cup, we're growing with the competitions. We have 8 competitions running, and with the Senior Cup, you probably have realized we've changed the format. This is the first time we're playing a straight group format to the semi-finals. We keep looking for new things to do, innovations and continuous improvement. We are continuously trying to look at better ways and easier ways to do our competitions.
Yeah, every now and then you find that not all the teams from the region are here, and also this time around we don't have a guest country joining this competition. What are some of the challenges that you maybe know why we get into that situation?
Obviously, countries in all our members have different challenges that they are facing, especially immediately after COVID. Some of the challenges are economical or finances, and some are logistics. But with the new format that we are playing starting this season, we are not really keen on inviting so many people, so many other countries outside our region. But imagine if Madagascar was playing or it entered, we would have one slot because Zimbabwe is still out. So when we have even numbers, we don't invite them at all. But when we have a slot, just one slot, we are not keen in inviting 2 or 3 more, just like before. This time around is going to be us, even numbers. If there is a position, only one that we can invite.
Now, I'm sure being here, you're wearing the COSAFA head, but I'm sure deep, should I say in the back of your mind, you must be thrilled that Eswatini finally won yesterday.
Well, of course, all the teams that are here, I'm in charge of all of them. I am from Eswatini, just like yourself. I am thrilled. I'm very happy. We lost our first game against Botswana, but we made amends. We beat Namibia. I'm very happy with that.
With all the resources that the COSAFA group is able to put together to give a chance to our countries in this region to participate in the different competitions. For me, how long is it going to take us before we get a little bit more of the numbers qualifying for the Nations Cup?
Look, like I said, COSAFA is growing. We've just employed a new deputy executive director. We have employed a person in charge of women development football in our region. We are looking at ways and means, and we can see that, for instance, the women game is a low-hanging fruit in COSAFA. If we are going to win any continental competition, I think the women are actually going to represent the region even more. That is why we're putting structure in the office to develop and promote women football. As for the other competitions, we would like our countries to concentrate more on youth development, on youth competitions, because that is where it all starts. It cannot start here with the senior challenge. So we are encouraging them to start with youth football and work with their way all through. And then at the end of the day, there will be victory, there will be trophies won.
Thank you so much, Mr. Shongwe. I'm sure the COSAFA region is the envy of the continent, and well done to you guys.
We have always been, and we would like to keep the bar as high as possible. We want to be the best, not only in Africa, but in some other Asia, maybe even in other regions. We will continue to do that as we look at continuous development and grow COSAFA.
Thank you so much, Mr. Shongwe.
You're welcome, sir.
Well, thank you to Mr. Shongwes then for the lovely insight in as far as COSAFA football. Whilst they wait for action and for things to heat up in the second half, we'll see you on the other side of this. Now, Zambia in need of goals and a win. Comoros will be happy with the way things are moving along thus far in this match. Welcome back to the Kings Walletini Stadium in Umlazi as well. The 2023 Hollywood Bets COSAFA Cup continues to ensure that we are entertained here in trying to tell the story of Group B. the defending champions will have had moments in the first half for those just joining us that may have missed it. And the outstanding player in the first half, of course, the goalkeeper for Comoros, Talimo, who came up with a number of good saves and to keep the opposition at bay. Well, Zambia had their moments going forward. There was just the one real chance for the Comoros right at the start of the match, first chance of the match actually, to speak of. Outside of that, Comoros really didn't trouble the Zambian much defensively. So it is Comoros in the green here that will get the second half underway. They will attack the goal to the right of your picture, whilst the Zambians will attack the goal to the left of your picture.
Let's go, Zambia!
Rain has been a factor for those that may not have been with us from the start of the day. We woke up to a wet, windy and extremely cold Durban. And pretty much the same here. The rain has come down since the start of the smash quite gradually. Ball played in then as the Zambians look to create a chance, and Tomorrow is able to clear the danger. Haven't really given themselves much of a chance to head on the counter-attack, the Comoros, and outside of the opening 15 minutes, they really have struggled at putting together the passes and struggled more so at holding on to the ball. William Strongway sitting alongside me here in commentary after yet another exciting half-time break where Strongway found another exciting individual to speak to then in your namesake, and talk of the development of the tournament, how far it's gone and how far it continues to go, the new format in this year's tournament and such. And again, great info, great work, Strongway.
Thank you.
Your new role.
Listen,
as the people's person.
Listen, the thing is about these, some of these officials are so well versed with the competition, and some people watching, I'm sure they're sitting there, got so many questions, and to get them into our platform so that we can at least clarify some of these matters. And I think that will be the case going forward. There's just going to be so many more coming up, and just to help make that halftime chat very interesting. Instead of just going to make yourself some tea. No, we want you to sit in that sofa and keep listening.
Well, it's made William Strongway the most popular man at this year's COSAFA. He can't go 5 steps now without having to stop and shake a hand or get a hug or a compliment from the various departments, and there are very many that go into putting together a COSAFA Cup.
I'm not too sure about the popularity part.
Now, all over to this near side, and defensively no problems in picking it up then for Chisimba. Were a couple of yellow cards in the first half. One was to him, the other was to Bakri, wearing the number 3 from the Comoros.
A little bit disjointed, I think, the Zambians in their build-up play. I guess the pressure maybe is mounting. The fact that they still haven't been able to score. Yes, they have made a few visitations, but...
Well, here they are, getting to the byline, ball played across. Had a menacing air about it, but in the end it's well dealt with defensively. Yusuf now on the far side, isolated, outnumbered, outwitted in the end. Zambians pushing on here. They will look to up the ante as they get numbers in the box. In fact, they put the ball into on the edge of the box where Zambian was unwittingly brought down. Well, the longer this game goes with Zambia not finding the back of the net, regardless of whether the Comoros do or not, there will be an anxiety that grows, one expects, within the Zambian squad, and the pressure will continue to grow. And the Comoros will look to take advantage, of course, from a counter-attacking point of view.
And that kind of pressure is what brings the a situation whereby you start rushing things, because now you're thinking, hey, there's not enough time. And where even when you had a chance to be calm in front of goal, you start panicking by hitting the ball when you should have passed, or passing when you should have taken a shot.
Too much of the ball shown there, so the Comoros not only winning it back, but kick-starting the counter. Options left and right, the keeper on the left. Full echo now to play. Out for the goal kick. Good work defensively on the far side. And frustrating. I find it where they push forwards. Well, it's forward for Comoros is I find it Jambayat. Plays his club football for Jabal Football Club. Of course, one of the 3 scorers for Comoros in that game against Seychelles in the opener. Well, Zambians have been ever present in this tournament as they put together the passes and a smashing strike that opens the scoring, giving Salimo absolutely no chance. Banging strike then, and quality in finding an equalizer with class. Colombia with absolute class.
Listen, just before the shot, I saw some beautiful movements of the ball and nice neat touches, regardless of the conditions of the field, to finally give him Mulamba that opportunity to be able to strike the ball in that fashion. I mean, like you said, it hit the upright and into the back of the net. The goalkeeper had no chance. Well hit though. Oh, brilliant. Brilliant. Listen, he's at full stretch. And maybe a little bit slower in trying to close him down. But still, man, oh man, it's a beauty of a shot.
Well, it's a beauty of a strike, deserving of an opening goal here. And that's just what the Zambians will feel they deserve with the way they've gone about business. Plus, they spoke to like their supporters around the main grandstand that are very much behind the defending champions and are in the hope that they can go on and reach a much needed 3 points in this match.
The thing is about the Zambians, I think just the fact that I don't think they change much of their approach. They just continue to believe that at some stage it will happen. They did the right thing. They went about it the right way. Let's just continue to apply the pressure. Something will give at some stage. And I was worried about the anxiety that will develop as long as, like you said. But this will help, just drop the nerves a little bit, where they can now start playing the normal football that they know they can.
Well, the importance of that goal is it took just about 5 or so minutes since the restart of the game in the first second half. So they would have wanted it as early as possible. Got the early goal here in the second half. Yellow card shown here. We'll confirm for you, but it looks as though it may be Suleiman Malaga that got the yellow card, but again we'll confirm that.
Now the set piece opportunity.
Can they stretch their lead here? I think there's always going to be quite a test, meaning something special would have been needed.
yeah, the more power applied tends to not help the target.
Oh, the Zambians with yet another impressive attack here. The shots! Oh, the save from Salimo. Quality save. The Zambians looking sharp.
They're beginning to find the spaces in between the defensive line and the midfielders. That opening just in front of the 18 yards area, so they're beginning to get the right type of bodies into that area.
Bound by the man tonight, Zambia. Push on here. Austria choosing not to hold on then. Tell them up. Well, it'll be interesting to see now that they have conceded how Comoros will go about business, but tell you what, Zambia seems to have upped the ante just a bit here. And, well, a bit of a problem. The floodlights just went off here at the stadium. They've been on right from the start of the day. So, we're hoping they'll still be able to continue here with the flight lights having just gone off. You can feel the disappointment from those out in the stands. They'll be happy that the game is continuing. But surely stadium management will be on that as quickly as possible. The later the game goes, of course, into the afternoon, the darker it will get quite soon. And also keep in mind we do have a 6 o'clock kickoff this evening, Shoma. So we'll be hoping for no issues with the lights, no load shedding or issues of that nature.
What are we more likely to see, Season Opina? Now that the Zambians are in the lead, I know they'll still push for it every now and then, but they'll do it within a reasonable amount of safety whereby they can recycle the ball and try to draw the Comoros into their faces, and possibly that long pass now to bypass that crowd in that middle. They're in the driving seat, it favors them now, and the Comoros have got to come out, whether they want to not, if they are to survive to go on into the semi-final stage.
Well, the wayward pass over towards this near side as they're giving away possession to the Comoros. Throwing to be taken by Zamir. Trying strong defensively then. And there's Combo. Christian Combo. Good numbers forward here for Comoros with that throw-in. Some distance on it. Zambia good numbers back defensively. Well, they do have a man down here to the Zambians. It is Frederick Malambia. Won't be down for too long. Up on his feet, able to continue with the game. Then who scored that smashing strike. Plays for Power Dynamos Football Club. Had enjoyed 70 minutes of the first match before being substituted. Zambia looking to extend their lead here. One could argue it has been coming. The signs were there from the first half. Zambia creating so many chances. Keeper in trouble this time. Ball played back across, out for the corner. So it's been coming. The pressure's been on. But how often we've seen Salimo in action, the keeper of the Comoros, you could tell that the Zambians kept turning the screws. Eventually able to get the better of it.
See, for teams like Zambia, it's not just about getting to the semi-final stage. Yes, there's pride of going on to win and all that, but teams would like the privilege of playing as many games as they can coming into this competition.
Salimo chooses not to hold on, passes it on to a dangerous area here. Ben's able to deal with the pressure Zambia were looking to apply. So too much on that occasion did Kambamba.
We saw a lot of the goalkeeper Salimo making saves in that first half, showing good quality, but I think there's an area of his game that needs to improve. The high balls into the area, he's not been able to deal with them that well. Possibly Zambia can use quite a few of the chances wide balls to hang them high and see how it deals with him, with the decision having to calculate the ball. He's been punching, flapping balls, and that's not the best situation at this level. There's an advantage to be taken by Zambia here. At least that's my small observation.
Confirmation of the scoreline and goal scorer. Zambia, the man who's made a huge difference to the Zambian campaign here, scoring their first goal over these championships. My help was needed. Just touching on the point with Salimo, the major concern of the last time he stepped the ball away, or punched it away, or attempted to, is it landed just about on the penalty spot.
The thing
inside the box.
The thing is, he didn't punch it, he flapped it.
Yeah.
And that for me is another concern, is like the decision making has got to be key. And he looks to be under a bit of pressure as well, maybe losing balance in the process, but still, if you're going to punch a ball, you've got to get some distance, you've got to get some height. Meaning that at least such that it's not intercepted, doesn't drop in your area. Yes, height is one, but distance as well is very key.
I don't think there's anything more concerning than seeing a keeper punch the ball and it still lands in a more central area inside the box.
And all,
in fact, central areas are no-no for the most part. It's punched out wide to the side.
And this is all the opposition or attacking team would like, is to see if they can profit from the second ball.
Yeah.
And now they might even deliberately throw those balls into the area to see what it does, and then they'll just put more numbers to see if they can pick up the second ball.
Now, Comoros with it in the middle of the park here. At the far side, where things have been quiet with the men out in their wing positions. Easy essentially on this near side. Just seeing about able to find the teammate in space. Now, look, nice clear the Zambians go back across. And cleared by the Comoros. Zambia. Again, to have an air of menace about them when they push forward into that final third. They have the creativity and the means.
I'm beginning to see a bit of Chisimba coming from the left full back position, and which for me adds more value in as far as creating width, because if you look at Siakombo up front, he's got to try and play a little bit narrow to support the attacking players, and that you need the full back now to cover the wide areas.
Here is the man in question. Busy. Extremely busy in the second half.
At some stage we saw Mkandawiro as well, adding a bit of value, also moving forward. I'm telling you, any defender, any fullback that doesn't have the ability to go forward, it's not good for the team. It doesn't bring any advantage. If you as a fullback can at least leave your men behind, it means you can start drawing the opposition as you keep going forward. It's a big strength, it's a big tactical approach for teams to use.
There's an abused part of the development of the game, isn't it? Seeing the opposition fullback then switch to wing back, then the requirement be that fullbacks aren't just about dealing with the wingers, it's also being part of the attack themselves and being able to contribute to the attack, get forward into the final third, contribute in getting assists, or the odd goal here or there.
It's a big field to cover.
Now, interesting ball in there. Keepers come out here, and well, not too convincing once again. Fortunately, he won't be punished for what wasn't a great touch. Pounded right straight to an opponent.
Look, he was brave. He came out a long way out. And but if you're able to come out that far, make sure that you do a little bit more than just
Probably 3 yards.
yeah.
So a couple of changes will be made here. It's Comoros that will make them. Of course, they will look to change things and see if they can, of course, affect the change on the scoreline. Mudua Fawaz is the man that will be coming on. He is a midfielder. Also, Ibrahim will replace Mohammed, who was operating out wide on the left side for the most part, whilst Yusuf was out wide on the right side. Referee right next to the action, allowing it to continue as the Zambians push on. Then the 1-2, just need of a touch. It's done well on that occasion, Sanimo. They needed him to come off his line, did so impressively. Now, Comoros looking for a equalizer, angle of the pass. Well, causes problems, serious problems, and it's Comoros with the equalizer. There you go. Couple of changes to the personnel, and they put upon a change to the scoreline. It's Zambia 1, Comoros 1.
It's the type of goal that you don't want to concede. That is clearly a mistake between the goalkeeper and the defender. Confusing. The defender thinks the goalkeeper is coming, and only late does the goalkeeper realize that he's supposed to come out, and by that time the defender decides to pass it back to him. And now, look at this. Obviously, the court here with the numbers, and it's a good pass to start with. Now. Oh, man. Then kick it away. Because you can see there's total disaster developing right before your eyes. Hit it.
Well, it's a Afane who didn't give up on the cause here and looked to take advantage of the confusion defensively. He did just that. Did Afane Chambaye, man who plays for Chabal Football Club, scoring his second goal at this year's COSAFA Championship. And, well, there you have it. The tale has another twist to it here. Zambia 1, Comoros 1. Anyone's game to still win.
Exactly the moments where all the time from the beginning with the Zambian side. And it takes just one lucky break for the Comoros to be able to build this moment. And their tails are up. And now it's the reaction from Zambia. How do they now get themselves out of this hole they created themselves? They dug themselves a big hole. Yes, there's still about 20 yards. 3 minutes or so remaining.
A couple of changes made by the Zambians, Pirion as well as Mashata, as you would have seen top of your screen a few moments ago. Now, they need to, quite desperately need to, the Zambians, up the ante once again as they get to the byline, ball in, over everybody's heads, kept alive then with the shot coming in from Kambamba. As to the stand, Zambia on 1 point, Comoros on 4, with one more match to play. Keeping in mind, Seychelles and Malawi are in action later on this evening at 6. It is ready to pause sometimes. Now, that's a lovely ball. Well defended in the end, but that was a lovely ball played in towards that far post. And have to keep the keeper beaten as it goes back in. This needed the Zambian to be at hand and to nut it in. Funny old game this. Eswatini last night, of course, came up with what was a serious upset, some would argue, against Namibia, coming from behind. On top of that, to walk away with the 3 points and just about end the tournament for Namibia. That was in Group A action, where South Africa and Botswana were in a good old tussle as well earlier on in the day. Today, Zambia under pressure, having lost to Malawi in their opener through an own goal, have a bit of drama in the second round here. They take some time, go into the second half and grab the lead against Comoros, and Comoros have a bit of fight in them, make it 1-1.
Now the position starts to speak volumes of this. Malawi, I mean, let me put it this way, they're more likely to win the next game, and they'll be up to 6 points. And remember, only one team qualifies for the semi-final spot.
Yeah.
And Malawi might be through by, say, come end of the day. And it will be Zambia might just only try to start campaign for the best runner-up.
Second place finishes, yeah. Pressure.
They conceded from an own goal.
Now, that was defended on that near post by Comoros. They will have a more defending coming their way here. They've got a corner to deal with. Seven push forward here for the Zambians. Charleston and important block. As the Comoros look to frustrate the Zambians further. Another ball in, another important defensive header. Well, as you were speculating about Malawi and what could be a little bit later on, can't help but agree with you. Yesterday you called it in the Eswatini speculation earlier on in the day, where I thought you may be wrong in saying Eswatini might beat Namibia. I wouldn't dare go across you now after yesterday's lessons were learned. But you never know. That's the point of the game here, you never know.
And if only Zambia could have the courage to still believe, because that for me, you know, the face of a game gives you so many different reactions to it, mentally and psychologically. And that for me is my only worry about Zambia. And psychologically, are they still going to be up for the fight? And having been in a situation where they thought they were in the driving seat, and then that turned around drastically for them.
Pressure by Yusuf. And they're just about able to keep it moving, but the pressure meaning they lose out here to throw it on the near side. Pressure on the likes of Chisimba.
And of course, more than just the result, certain players will feel the pressure of not having been able to do their part. The defensive unit, like I said, I was saying earlier, they conceded from an own goal in that first game, and now it's just a mistake, a blunder, big blunder, very costly one, and those individuals obviously are involved in that mess. The ball slipped out of his hands.
Yeah, the conditions, of course, contributed to that. The wet ball. So as he was lining up to throw it, Raiju, it slipped out of his hands. The man who, of course, scored in the opening game when they went on to win 3-0 against the Seychelles. Had quite an impressive game, the man wearing the number 10 jersey for the Seychelles on that occasion. Now, Zambia through, flag stays down. It should be and is. Zambia back into the lead. 2 on the scoreline. They cut apart the Comoros attack and lead once again quite impressively.
Character, mental strength to be able to recover from that setback. Considering the goal is one, how you concede is another. But that, they've showed great character in being able to put that behind them and continue to fight the cause.
God is the man who's tried time and time again. Manganda, who was denied by Salimo on a good number of occasions in the first half, who wasn't to be denied this time with the simplest of tap-ins.
Just on the sideline here, one of the assistant coaches, Joseph Usonda, who used to play for Golden Arrows here in South Africa, has joined Sishone as an assistant. And just to mention that used to be his hunting ground. It's a great pass. He just rolls it forward beautifully, and the composure, presence of mind to see that his angle is a little bit tight. The best situation is to roll it across into the open. Kagwanda.
Tell you what, it's a golden assist from Golden Mashata, who's coming off the bench then to play that ball across, and in the end, making it easy for the goal scorer to score that eventual second yellow card here. And they need to be careful. Some of their tempers need to be calmed down here. The men from the Comoros, they have been protesting for some time since the goal was scored. Still having a goal at the near side official.
Is it a question of them not happy with the call that he allowed play to go on, or were they expecting an offside?
I think so. I think they may have been suspecting an offside.
There was a touch to it as well, but obviously we're not there on the sideline to be able to measure just how straight the line is. I also had in mind to think, but hey, I'm sitting up here.
Yeah.
I can't see clearly to tell us the whole story of what the situation was.
Now they need to be careful here. Bakri, if I'm not mistaken, was on a yellow from the first half here, so picks up a second yellow, and he will walk. So they've gotten themselves into trouble. The Comoros, not only with the action since conceding that second goal, it's just the inability to keep their discipline. And see them now lose the man through that discipline, and they look to go through the next 13, 14 minutes at the very least with 10 on the field.
How unfortunate, because I mean they scored from nothing to get back into level 10, but now they thought that they could still pretty much do something with the remaining minutes. The coach could still exercise his options in as far as changing the team around to give him an option.
That's nice sportsmanship from Bakri. He still walked across to the far side official to go have words with him before coming over towards this near side to walk off. So still clearly frustrated at the lack of an offside call from earlier, which led him to have this challenge on the goal scorer, in this case Kwanganda, for him to move over to the far side official. Still have words after being sent off for a challenge that official has nothing to do about. Is really in bad spirits.
Listen, the time that he's spending walking slowly out is the time that his team could have used to try and get back to level 10s. And poor reaction. You see, that's the mental strength and the psychological effect that counts a lot in as far as the attitude of the player. How do they deal with a situation that is developing before them that's not favorable? You still need a strong mind to believe and be a sportsman to start with.
You still have a game to play, or a game to save in their case. Now, Zambia with the extra man looking to push on here, and well, another goal will certainly put the fight out of Comoros and put this game to bed. That's exactly what they're looking for. Doing what they should, the Zambians. Well, a couple of changes will be made here from a Zambian point of view. John Kosama waiting to come on, as well as Joshua Mutale.
I liked what I saw from Mutale when he came in that first game. Great control of the midfielder. He's one of the other Savannah members of the old Zambian team that would have played in this COSAFA a few years back.
Buffalo's man on for his first involvement in this tournament, while Mutale is a Power Dynamos Football Club man. Played 49 minutes in the opening game of this COSAFA Cup. So keep in mind, it's the 10 men of the Comoros here that'll be up against the 11 of Zambia. Zambia with the lead. All 3 goals we've seen in this match have come in the second half. Keep in mind, we've yet to see a match with 4 goals in it, William Shongwe. So Zambia may want to go in here and make the most of the man advantage, and if they are to do so, we'll have a higher scoring match of the tournament.
And they've got 10 minutes to do that.
Or Comoros could, as the underdogs in this situation, come up and score the goal themselves that matters, to time matters, and make things more interesting, and thus give us the highest scoring match if that was to happen. So again, we'll try and look at that offside call that led up to the second goal, William Chongwe, and see what the frustration, or where the frustration came from the Comoros point of view. As we saw first, I did pick up a yellow card from the protest, then Barkley went on and had a challenge out of frustration that led to him picking up his second yellow card, and that's being sent off. Comoros now having to make another change. Bakar Ali Yusuf adds to the number of Yusufs out there. One is made way, so there's 2 on the field right now, and it's Wright who's on a yellow card, who's being called off, so they're cautious of those that are already on the yellow.
And remember, you're on 3 points. Even if you lose this one, you still got another game to play. And that will be against Malawi. Who knows, Malawi maybe would have achieved their 2 wins, and they might take the foot off the pedal. So there's still quite a lot of positives going into the last game.
So, and one there's the men that scored, they were bemoaning the offside here, but when you look at the man on the far side in the green.
Thank you. That one plays him onside. But the reaction for that man we're talking about is such that it's belated. He actually walks after the player breaks through. Or did he was hoping that the call would come, but where Gagwanda goes from, he actually starts off where that man we're talking about was. That is, for me, he went to sleep completely.
Didn't play to the whistle.
Yeah.
The age-old rule when it comes to the game of football, play to the whistle. You might have your call that you think should be in your favor. Until the whistle comes, don't stop moving. Back to Tanya on the near side now. Zambians with movement towards the floor. Important defensive touch. Oh, starts showing challenge. Nasty. That was nasty. Lost themselves now, Comoros.
They're playing with anger.
Alui Abdallah, the latest to launch in with one of those challenges where you are glad the opponent took evasive action. Shot from range. Wow, they had power. Real power driver straight at Salimo, but man, oh man, that was hit with a lot of power.
But what Salimo does very well is he claps the ball down and picks it up on the second bite. That's what happens if a shot is that strong for you.
They take the sting out of it.
Yeah.
So Zambians looking well on their way here to what should be an important win if they are to secure it. Comoros have come up with one sucker punch. They'll be hoping to come up with yet another here to throw a wrench into the works. Zambia in the meantime will always be looking to score their third and put this game to rest. For the late challenge on Melanjara Salimo. Andrew Peary was coming off the bench then as the man who was looking to keep the pressure on, maybe force an error out of the Comoros goalkeeper. A man who plays for Musa FC. Another of those is enjoying his first involvement in this year's COSAFA Cup in this game. So yellow card. It is then for P. We would have expected it to be tough. That's tough for sure. The coach of Comoros, Abdul Mane. Oh, sorry. Under the risk of making life a little difficult for themselves in seeing off this match. They would have loved it. When they found that equalizing goal, then a little disappointment with the equalizer. That disappointment could be hidden in the reaction when they acted out against the far side official, and the frustration spilled through to the game, leading to a sending off. As William Chuma pointed out not too long ago, all far from lost from a Comoros point of view. There's still the game against Malawi to look forward to. They still do have 3 points thanks to their win over Seychelles. And here they are with a chance to maybe find the equalizer. Take the corner. Was it deflected shots? Answers no. Yusuf couldn't find something equally as special as the goal he scored a few days ago against the Seychelles. So Zambia will be to make the change. Zambia will make way. Well, rather will be coming on, I beg your pardon. Making way is the goal scorer, Kangwanda, who's had a standing game then. Yes, he scored one. He could have scored a few more had it not been for the heroics of Salima between the sticks for the Comoros. Now, yeah, the Comoros push it forward. Nice little turn then. That's led to the corner. Well, they've put some men forward here, Comoros. They're hoping to have a bit of joy with the corner that will follow. The referee for the time being from Madagascar is looking to calm matters down here with a pushing and shoving inside the box. Or is Mulenga, by the look of it, getting a talking to. Comoros, once again, find something special. They kept the head on the far post, but couldn't make its way through traffic. So there you have it, 4 minutes will be added on to the end of the game. The 11 men of Zambia up against the 10 of the Comoros here. All they need to do is manage the game. The Zambians, easier said than done, of course. Whilst the Comoros will be hoping for something a little special. Man was guilty in your picture just a moment ago then. Ispahu Ibrahim, amongst those two have come in off of the bench. Late in the day here for the Comoros, also plays for Vulcan Club. Are quite heavily represented in this team of Vulcan Club. With the likes of Salimo also playing for Vulcan, Zamir is another. Abdallah wearing the number 6 jersey, as well as Ibrahim Yusuf, all play for Vulcan Club. Not forgetting Al-Sani as well. Now, Zambia unable to find the combination of passing movement that will lead to a third. Well, closing down right from the front here. Just unable to fall the way of the men in green. The ball was Zambia able to clear. Well, this will be a memorable first for both the nations of Zambia and Comoros in the way of the meetings in the COSAFA Cup. Going into the last 4 minutes added on. Zambia trying to get in behind that defense. For the Comoros fans here, if it is this way, which is looking as though it might, they'll be happy at the fact that they, well, to keep the Zambians honest, made them earn the 3 points. Both these nations will thus be on 3 points, along with Malawi, who will be in action at 6 o'clock this evening. Yes, it was interesting going into the third round of matches in a few days' time. Well, there you have have it. It's Zambia. Pick up their first win. And, well, get the much-needed 3 points that keeps their hope alive of staying in the COSAFA Cup beyond the group stages. Well, they were kept honest here. First going to the lead, and then there was the equalizer from the Comoros, and then the eventual winner from the Zambians. All the goals coming in the second half of play. And well, for Comoros, they had a bit of ill discipline. I saw one of theirs red carded as well. That may come back and bite them in the butt in the way of future games, as they still battle to make sure they're amongst those that make it into the semi-finals. But Zambia will now, along with the Comoros, sit back and watch what happens between Malawi and Seychelles later on in the day. Let's Group B action, and it's Zambia that get the beating of Comoros with a scoreline of 2-1. So, looking back at the goals then, as we look at the highlights, this is beautifully done by the Zambians. Stunning strike then with Molambia finding the back of the net. Lovely 1-2 on the edge of the box. And it was beautifully worked. Top-notch shots, bottom corner, giving Salimo absolutely no chance as the Zambians went into the lead. Then Comoros got it together. Early ball in behind the defense, confusion between keeper and defender, and there to score his second of the tournament was Afane, leveling matters 1-1, making life interesting in the way of this encounter. Never gave up in the chase and rewarded for his efforts as he went on to find the back of the net with the easiest of tap-ins. Certainly played his part in the confusion. Reason to smile for those from the Comoros, but Zambia had too much quality. Lovely ball, and in the end, good assist. There's a man who was deserving of a goal. Kangwanda was at hand then to go in and score the second. Regain the lead for the Zambians as they went on to collect the 3 points. Well, the men coming off the bench then, Machata, they're coming to pick up the assist. Lovely movement of the forward. Vision and unselfish play in playing it across then for the easiest of tap-ins. Now, let's tell us the story. Zambia with way more of the goal attempts and shots on target, although Comoros may have had slightly more of the ball. The numbers very much in favor of the Zambians.
Brilliant Kwizayo is here with us on pitch side to be able to present this Player of the Match award. And the award goes to Kevin Kabamba. Please do the honors, sir.
Congratulations, sir. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you very much, brilliant. And now, Kevin, tell me, it look obvious it's 2 on the scoreline, but it wasn't as easy as people thought it would be.
Yeah, we know that Comoros won the first game, so
yes.
Us as Zambia, we needed these 3 points for us to catch up with them in the table. Yeah, yeah.
And now, going forward, suddenly your hopes have been revived and you have a chance to maybe win the last game and make it to the semi-final.
Yeah, we are going to take Seychelles as it comes, but you know that we are defending champions, so we are not going to let this COSAFA goes away with us. We are going to fight, and hopefully the result against Malawi versus Seychelles goes our way. And we also need to come in the last game with hopes of qualifying to the semi-final of this tournament.
Congratulations once more.
Thank you very much.
And of course, coming up with me is the coach of the Comoros here. And yes, coach, a tough game, and but you still continue to fight. Would you say maybe the loss of a man in as far as the red card did contribute?
Non, d'abord, je féliciterai le staff, les joueurs, tout le groupe qu'on est là, parce que on a tenu, on savait que ça allait être un match difficile, et quand même on a tenu, on a fait face à une grosse nation, et tactiquement, mes joueurs étaient bien disciplinés dans le jeu, donc on a perdu une bataille, mais pas encore la guerre.
We knew coming into the game that it would be tough. We were playing against a very big and tough nation. Tactically and in all aspects, my players did well. They were well disciplined, so I would like to congratulate them for that. We've lost a battle, but we've not yet lost the war.
But you obviously won the first one, and there's still a chance that you can win the last, and that means you might up there with 6 points and still have a chance. Who knows what can happen?
Oui, on sait qu'il reste encore une chance, et cette chance pour nous c'est une finale. On sait que là on est à 3 points partout, peut-être qu'il y aura une différence entre les buts, et on va encore mieux faire et bien se préparer pour le dernier match afin qu'on soit à 6 points.
Okay. Yes, we know that we are in a group where most of the teams are on 3 points, and we have an opportunity in the last game to change things, because as it stands now, probably what can make the differences on goal differences. So coming into that game, we'll give all our best to ensure that we win.
Coach, thanks very much and good luck.
Thank you too.
Well, those are the thoughts of the coaches, then including your man of the match, as we look at the result. Of course, that is Zambia beating Comoros with a 2-1 scoreline. Then, and keep in mind, we still will have Malawi up against Seychelles in a game that'll kick off at 6 o'clock. So that's something to look forward to in seeing how this group will, of course, take shape at the end of the second round of matches. As things currently stand here, the log for Group B will tell a story. Comoros still at the top of the group. You will remember that Malawi won against Zambia in the first round, so Zambia needed the 3 points now. Malawi up against Seychelles. Later on in the day, we'll see how that unfolds. Whilst tomorrow, keep in mind, we will have games from the Princess Makoko Stadium, where Angola take on Mauritius, as well as Mozambique taking on Lesotho. And of course, William Chongwe standing by with the coach of Zambia to get his thoughts following the win.
Moses Shishone, the Chipolopolo coach, is here with me. Obviously, coach, very relieved that you got all 3 points.
It's a great victory. Actually, we needed the victory, and I must say a big compliment to the guys. They have done well. Like I said earlier on, it was not an easy game. We knew Comoros they will actually maybe try to play a draw, but for us it was 3 points that we needed, and I must say I liked the reaction from the guys after the first loss we had.
But you must be concerned that defensively there are errors, obviously conceded from an own goal in that first game, and coming into this one, confusion between defender and goalkeeper.
Yeah, this is the thing. I mean, in football there are always mistakes, and this is what we are trying to encourage, some of the young players. And it's just lack of communication. I mean, if you are able to communicate on the field, such silly mistakes, they don't happen.
Indeed. Coach, congratulations once more, and hopefully it goes well in that last game of the competition in this round-robin stage.
Thank you very much. And yeah, Comoros is gone now, so we know.